and bottles, yeah, we got them all. Line them all up and we'll drink till we fall. Arthur Cantina's the best liquor store. Arthur Cantina, you'll never need more.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Arthur Cantina Podcast. I'm your host JP with your other host Anthony.
Yo.
Today we're doing an Easter special. Easter's right around the corner. It's truth be told, it's Palm Sunday. So we're recording this on Palm Sunday and we're getting you ready for Easter this upcoming Sunday. A little old school, one camera, old backdrop with a new backdrop wall. Our good friend and producer Joey could not be here today, so we're flying by the seat of our pants, and we hope we could, do Joey proud.
Yeah, we're hoping we're not fucking this up. It's one camera, two mics, like the old ways, old wired up. So hopefully everything's recording the way it's supposed to be, and this is not a huge waste of time.
Yeah, I mean the audio might come out like shit. I mean we made sure everything's recording, so we'll see how this goes. We selected a wonderful
2007 Taurasi.
There you go.
Taurasi comes from the region of Campania. Ooh, you mother.
You gotta speak into the mic. You might not get.
Oh, you son of a bitch! You son of a bitch!
You broke the cork.
This cork is old.
Old cork. It's no good, man.
It's still holding a seal.
Well, the cork is
Still holding a seal.
It smells fine. For the most part.
It's just an old cork.
It's an old cork. This is the oldest wine we have in the store, 2007?
I believe so. I believe it is. I believe it is the oldest wine we have in the store. I think I got it.
And for 2007 Taurasi is what grapes?
Taurasi is Aglianico.
Aglianico grape, and that's why we're doing it. Aglianico pairs great with lamb. I do hear that.
Right. Ooh. And look at that cork. Look at how beautiful that thing is. All right, so a little up, but sometimes it happens. So even to the pros, it happens. That juice in there. I don't know if you can see it far away. Maybe you can, maybe you can't.
Juicy.
Maybe I'm just doing this for no retarded reason. But sometimes you get a cork bust on you. And I kind of felt it because I felt there was a lot of pressure behind it. But I was still able to recover it. The important thing is that this cork had a lot of girth to it. It's a girthy one. But it still had a lot of moisture in it. And you can tell that by squeezing it. You can just see that precipitation in the cork. You just see the liquid just shining back at you when you squeeze it. So it still held its seal. I mean, you also heard the pressure coming out of it. And I got a little bit of cork dust in it, so I'm going to take a little paper towel, try to soak up that dust as much as I can. So I'm not just tasting cork dust, but you could just also just dump out the first 5 milliliters of pour. Not a big deal.
I recently saw a video of a guy pouring it was a Chardonnay, it was an older Chardonnay, I forgot exactly what bottle. I don't know if I sent it to you.
I want to smell the mic.
And he, same kind of thing. He had the wine key, and I think some of the cork bits were in the wine, and it was very expensive. And the way they did it, he filtered it out through a cloth, blah blah blah, and all that.
Right. You could use a cheesecloth, right? If you want to be fancy, handkerchief works too. Also, just throw out the first little bit. It's not a big deal.
I got a lot of cork in here, but I'll drink it because I'm a man.
Yeah.
Cork.
Pour some of it out.
Cork gives me.
It's not a big deal. A little bit of spilt wine is not a big deal.
I got the cork out pretty much. I mean, it's a little bit.
And if you drink a little cork, you're not going to die.
It
You're
gives
fine.
you more power. So Taurasi Aglianico grapes, 2007. We have it at $44.99. I mean, $49.99.
Stupid good price.
For 2007? Absolutely. Almost 20 years old.
Right.
20 years old.
Right.
18 years old. Again, I smell the mic too.
Pre-tariff pricing.
Smelling the... it smells like mic. It smells like spit.
And remember again, if you're tasting wine, you're sampling it, you're smelling it, stick your nose in with your mouth closed. Now again, with your mouth open. immediately I pick up an extra note or two just from my mouth being open. You're gonna look stupid. It's not the point. Not the point to look cool. The point is to be a detective and figure out what the hell it is you're smelling, what you're tasting. You could smell the oak. You could smell the barrel coming right through.
Like wood and fruit.
It's been sitting. So I could be a little off by a couple months, but for the most part, you get the big picture. This is a 4-year-old wine that's been aged in barrel. It's Aglianico that comes from the Campania region. So usually Aglianico can come from Campania or the region to the southwest of it, Basilicata.
Shout out Basilicata.
If it says Irpinia, it's Aglianico from Campania. If it says Vultere, it's from Basilicata, the mountain of Basilicata.
Let's taste it. Let's taste this bad boy.
Ooh, that's a teeth sucking one.
That's good though. God damn.
It's high in acid.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a lot of acidity.
Well, that's why we go good with the lamb. Lamb is typically softer meat, fatty.
Fatty, little gamey.
Mm-hmm.
That fat is what you need. So if you're trying to figure out how to pair things, always contrast, right? White and black, sweet and spicy. In this case, you got acidity, so you want to balance it out with fat.
Very dark.
Something nice and fatty will go great with this. Doesn't have to be any particular thing. It can be, you could have it with a piece of steak. You could have it with lamb. You could have it with, I really wouldn't put pork, because pork can sometimes get dry.
Yeah.
You kind of need that fat, like embedded in there. I think steak and lamb would do great with this. Oh, a nice little lollipop.
Lamb shank?
Lamb shank, or just a little
lamb lollipop?
Lamb chop, little rib, whatever you call that thing. Those little delicious cuts of meat.
Got some pork at the bottom. I'm not going to drink it, but...
So, if you ever heard of Barolo, Barolo is the same kind of concept. They take the grape called Nebbiolo, they age it for 2.5 years or 3.5 years in barrel. They bottle it for 6 months, so a total of 4 years of aging, and then they release it. That's the classification for Barolo. Now, it's a little more complicated. It has to pertain to that land, so the grapes can't grow anywhere outside of the Barolo region. You can't call it Barolo if its grapes are called from someplace else. The same kind of thing applies to Taurasi. It's the same concept. You're taking a grape, Aglianico, and you're aging it for 2.5 years in oak, 3.5 years in oak. You're probably letting it rest and bottle for 6 months, and then you release it. One comes from the north, the Barolo region. This guy comes from the south, Campania, Basilicata. So it's our version, and by ours I mean the south version of a Barolo.
Good old Southern boy. This is a really good one. Very easy drinking.
Another thing too about these kinds of wines, you gotta sample them and let them work on you. You gotta taste them, coat your tongue, let it build up, because whatever you had in your mouth before, it has to get rinsed out. Maybe you had something that's a little foul. You shouldn't. Jesus doesn't want to know about it. That's a good way to rinse it out of your mouth.
The blood of Christ, baby. I wonder what wine. It's the Easter special, so I wonder what kind of wine Jesus turned the water into.
Oh,
What would you think?
where that happened? That was in Jerusalem.
He was a Jewish boy, so maybe Manischewitz. I don't know.
Nah. No, I'm gonna base it by region. Right? If it was the Middle East, if it was Jerusalem, which I really don't know, I'm just talking on my ass, but let's say it is. Indigenous grapes out there won't be Manischewitz. Manischewitz is made from the Concord grape. That is a New York varietal. It does really well in New York's climate. The right conditions, the water, the close to the ocean, the temperature spikes, cold in the winter and nice and hot in the summertime. So I don't think it would be Concord grape. It would be Manischewitz. If I have to say something local, it's a more robust grape.
Yeah, but he's Jesus. It doesn't have to be local. He could have turned it into whatever the hell he wanted.
Right, but he wouldn't have known about anything else, right?
You all know it. It's the son of God.
I don't know. He never ventured to Great Britain. He never ventured to the Rhone Valley. You know, I'm trying to think perspective-wise. What would he? You can't turn something to something you don't know.
Yeah, but he knows everything.
All right. Well, maybe when he was still human, he didn't know everything. Because if he knew everything, maybe he would have been around still. When he got stabbed by Pontius Pilate.
He didn't get stabbed by Pontius Pilate.
He got stabbed by the Roman legionnaire.
He got turned in by the Jews who killed our Christ.
That's getting crazy.
It's just what it is.
You want Jesus or do you want Barabbas?
And they said,
who do you want?
They said, give us Jesus.
Well, anyway, that's not
my Lord and Savior. This one's for you, bud.
If I had to say a local variety, can't say Cabernet Sauvignon because Cabernet Sauvignon didn't exist yet.
What is the
aging grape? I don't know. I don't know what the something local. Maybe Cab Franc.
What's the that thing where they said that they found the wine and it had like this fungus in it that made people hallucinate? Shit.
I have no clue. You opened up more questions than we answered on this podcast.
Well,
debate of Jesus.
Questions. That's what we need.
Debate of what kind of wine he would have been drinking back then.
There's no debate of Jesus. He's the Lord and Savior.
He is the Lord and Savior, but you also got to think too, like, do we know the full story, or is it just what we think we know is the full story? You know, things get lost in time. Things get lost in translation too. You're talking about ancient languages that ain't around no more. So, things get, it's like anything else, like wine. You got to be a detective. You got to figure things out.
It's kind of blasphemy what you're saying.
It's not. It's just, scripture and reality, two different things.
Let's get into a religious debate. Palm Sunday.
So it's a holy time. It's a time to reflect.
I didn't get my palms.
I didn't get my palms either. Not the best Catholic.
Jesus walked. So Palm Sunday, was he like on a donkey? It's like the whole thing. He rode into town on a donkey, or he took the donkey on his back, something like that. And they all smacked him with the palms, like he's here, he's here.
They threw palms on the floor. I don't remember. I don't remember the story. We're not the best Catholics. We are Catholics, but we're not the best Catholics. We went to Catholic all boys high school.
I mean, I did 12 years of Catholic school, grammar school.
You should know better.
I mean, I wrote a lot of Bible scriptures because I didn't know how to keep my mouth shut in grammar school. I'd and write, Psalm whatever to whatever 100 times. Shout out Sister Gertrude. I wonder if she's alive. She's got to be like 100 years old if she is still kicking. If you know Sister Gertrude, shout out. If you're watching this, Sister Gertrude.
This one's for you, Sister Gertrude.
This one's for you, Sister Gertrude. She had the hairiest arms ever.
God bless being a nun. God bless being a priest.
I mean...
Well, I don't want to talk about this one. Now you mentioned priesthood.
Don't do it.
There was a guy we know.
Don't do it.
Well,
no, do it because I'll defend
the recent one.
I'll defend it.
All right. So I'm on, Instagram, scrolling around, and actually I'm not on Instagram. Fez is on Instagram, and I see his stories. He's scrolling, and I see a picture of a priest getting arrested.
It shouldn't be
because he apparently had some kind of relations with the lady of the night. Now I look close at the photo. Mind you, I'm driving, so I shouldn't even be looking at Fez's phone, but I am for some reason. And I notice there's a guy that I know. I'm like, holy shit, I know that guy. He's a younger priest. He's a year older than us, or 2 years older than us. And I recognize him, and I said, shit. So I go, Fez, send me that article. So he sends it to me. Once I pull over, I read into it, and I go, God damn it. They're trying to take down a guy who I know is a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's a good dude. He's not a bad dude. And they're putting him all over TV, all over the news, saying he did this, he did that. People in the comments saying he should be excommunicated. That's effed up that he did that. He shouldn't be doing that.
So what he did was, like you said, he got a lady of the night, and now
allegedly, this is all
alleged. But also, Jesus hung out with a lady of the night.
Mary Magdalene was on his right arm.
I mean, you want to go real deep, you could dive that the Bible said, they were just buddies, but I think that was, Jesus turned the hoe into a housewife, and I think he married her.
Da Vinci Code,
And then, they had kids, but that's, I don't want to get into,
I mean, what a nice...
But honestly, I go, how dare this priest get a hooker? At least it wasn't a little boy at the church. At least it wasn't an altar boy. You know what I mean?
I don't even like saying at least because we're human.
Exactly.
We're not, fingers of God. We're not dickless angels with wings. We're humans. We got needs. Everyone's got
Sometimes
needs.
you gotta scratch them.
So, you need a little affection. You need a little, some loving.
Sometimes,
I don't blame the guy.
the love of God is not enough.
I think the one thing the church can do, they can really reform this thing with the priesthood and the nuns. Let them have...
Let them have their cake and eat it too.
Let them have fun. Come on.
Well,
You can't sit there in a room full of people and try to tell them how to live life. No, I know, the camera cuts off.
Okay.
You can't sit there and tell them how to live life, how they should be, how they act. And you gotta hide in the shadows and do things behind closed doors and not get caught with the hooker and stuff like that. I'm gonna come confess to you my sin.
Well, this is the whole saga. Well, the whole idea is like, if you're a man of God or a woman of God, you're married to God. So that's why, because it's your number one is God, the church. So you can't have a wife, you can't have kids because you put your wife and kids before everything, right? So how can you put them before God when you're supposed to be the servant of God? This is the whole reason why they don't allow priests to get married. But these things happen.
Well, I think it was more of a land appropriation thing. They were worried that the kids were somehow going to get a piece of the land, and
yes,
they didn't want the priest to have any devotion.
Mm-hmm.
Also, and not to say it's the same thing, but in like Game of Thrones, right? When they had the warriors with no dicks, those guys fighting for them, right? Yeah. They took off their dicks so they wouldn't seek.
Yeah, but that guy still fell in love with that.
Right, but they weren't supposed to, right? They weren't supposed to seek any other pleasure, stuff like that. It's kind of the same kind of thing without actually doing it. You're not letting them have kids, you're not letting them procreate. I'm okay with that part, but come on, reality. You got to have a little something. You have to have some kind of.
You get a little tipsy off the Jesus' blood. You want to get frisky.
It's just natural. It's natural. You have hormones. You have the tools. You got the machinery. It's all there for a reason. Like, you know what I mean? The woman touches you in a certain way. You smell her. You telling me the priest ain't gonna get something up later? Come on. They gotta live too. Should they do it in the shadows? I don't think they should because they're lying. They're cheating. Right?
Well,
they should be okay. What this guy did, I don't blame him if he did it because it's a natural thing.
And again, in the progression of things, especially with Catholic priests, you immediately think. I think this is a whole war on Christianity and Catholicism in particular. They always highlight these things. Not that it shouldn't be highlighted. And granted, the Pope and the Catholic Church have done a terrible job at hiding these predators. You know what I mean? But would you rather have a priest? Like, if I'm a priest, and he must think he wants to get his rocks off, so he goes to this hooker instead of going on Tinder and trying to riz a girl, being like, I'm a priest.
Yeah, but
But if I'm a woman, I go, this priest wants me.
What's better? He bangs someone's fucking wife that goes to church, right?
Yeah.
Or he just gives some lady $50, gets his rocks off, and keeps it moving. Tells people, listen, do the right thing.
With that $50, I put that $50 to go to feed the hungry, and he takes it out of the thing and gives it.
That's fine.
Or he's gonna be like, what's the priest's name on The Sopranos? That he's.
Oh yeah, he was gonna bang.
Guy's the worst character.
He was gonna bang Carmela. It was like no doubt.
But he was a little. Remember, she was like, "I thought you were gay." He's like, "I'm not gay," but he was all into like classical movies. What does that tell you? When they end up eating all the baked ziti or whatever the hell.
Something like that. Yeah.
First of all, that priest in that movie, he's a real scumbag because Carmela's like got the flu. He goes over there. Tony's up in Maine or whatever with Meadow, looking at schools, and he kills the rat that he fights out. And that the whole time, she's there with the priest hanging out. AJ's off at his friend's house. She's got like a flu, and the priest is being all scummy, eating all the manigotti or whatever the hell they had, and he falls asleep. And then he's like, I gotta leave. They stole my car. And she's like, get out of here. She like throws him out.
He probably did that before. Who knows how many other lonely housewives he's snuggled up to.
Yeah, mafioso bosses. I mean, that's just get the hooker. Don't go after the mob boss's wife. That's crazy.
Just get the hooker. I think of other cultures too, like like Korea. You're like allowed to have women of the name. Japan.
Like, I don't think so. I think
they're like okay with it.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of frowned. prostitution's kind of fun.
An article where the women of Asia are okay with having hookers.
風俗は浮気かどうか。
わけではない。隠さなければ浮気じゃない。
That's like Thailand and they're all lady boys.
No, I read something somewhere. They were like, they know, like, as long as the guys don't fall in love with the hooker, the wife is okay
I'm
with
in
it.
love with a stripper. I mean, the wife's okay with it. Yeah, don't fall in love with it. Just go.
Don't fall in love with the hooker.
I don't know if that's. I don't think any wife would be okay with it. I think it's the old profession, and it's always been shunned upon. But in this day and age, it's like celebrated. They're sex workers. Oh, and that instead of just banging priests in a car, they just show their private parts on the internet. Instead of getting real,
OnlyFans?
Yeah, OnlyFans. But whatever.
I was thinking of starting OnlyFans and we just have Fez say racist things on it. Like, if you want to hear Fez say racist things on it, it's $5 a month. And Fez will say a racist thing on it.
It's not the only one. We
every
already have it. It's our Patreon. It's not the only one. If you want to hear Fez, look at this guy. This guy's peering in. We got the gate totally down, which is good, but at the same time, they could see us now because we have the little grates in the gate. And this guy's just looking. I don't know if he's looking at the wanted poster that we have because there's a criminal afoot around the neighborhood. Go figure. Or is this guy just looking at us? He's reading.
No,
he's mouthing the words. You know when people read and they gotta go.
I like that the local precinct came by and printed out this wanted poster.
Yeah.
It reminds me like Red Dead Redemption.
I know. I was playing Red Dead the other day.
Looking for guys like this.
I'll go find this guy. What's his name? Something Guzman.
Guzman.
He looks like MVP. If you watch wrestling, you know who MVP is. Kind of looks like that guy. Yeah, but don't do criminal stuff. And as we were just talking, defending a priest that did criminal stuff, soliciting prostitution.
Poor guy.
Imagine someone is watching this and it says Easter special. I'm like, oh, that's really nice. And then we're like, oh, you should bang hookers. And we're like, this is not a religious podcast.
If you got a wife, you got a girlfriend, make love to her. But if you're a priest, take the hookers.
If you have a wife or a girlfriend, you make sweet, passionate love.
Yeah.
If you're a priest, you just get a dirty hooker. You pay her. She blows you in, the car that the parish paid for.
Arthur Cantina endorses hookers.
Endorses priest hookers. This should be
we should do a GoFundMe. GoFundMe, donate towards the priest hooker fund.
That's not a bad idea.
And then the priest can make anonymous, or they can't be anonymous because then anyone that mother can just be requesting hookers.
You go out to the bunny ranch. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Now, how is that I never understood that, right? Because prostitution's illegal, but the bunny ranch was out in, I think, Nevada, right? Somewhere near Reno. I don't think it was near Vegas. Whatever the hell it was. It was but it was a legal brothel. So I don't understand how any of that works. How can they have a?
It's like statehood, like marijuana, right? You can enact it in the state, but it's not a federal thing.
I don't think.
It's definitely legal because they know what the hell's going on. Yeah, it's definitely legal.
Where's my phone? Let me ask ChatGPT. Fill the time while I ChatGPT's prostitution.
I had some other thoughts while you were talking, and they completely went out of my head.
That happens.
I was like, God damn it, I should get a notepad. I'd be writing these things down because I don't want to interrupt him from telling what he's got to say. But then once he's done, I completely forget what I was going to say. I had a really good point about priests and hookers, and it totally is gone out of my mind. That's the fun part about drinking.
Okay.
You can cover up those blank spots in your brain with a nice glass of wine.
So, according to ChatGPT, I said, is prostitution legal in Nevada? Prostitution in Nevada is legal but strictly regulated and permitted only under specific conditions. It is allowed exclusively within licensed brothels located in certain rural counties. As of September 2023, there were 19 legal brothels operating across 6 counties. Interesting. And then, it tells me the counties. Prostitution in counties with populations exceeding 700,000, which include blah, 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 can choose to regulate or ban it entirely. And that's very strange.
You call it Magdalene's. All right? And it's a
I like this idea. Now you got me.
Only service, brothel service. Priest only, brothel service. You have to be accredited and verified.
And you can put $100 for a
donation bucket for the
donation $100. You get the priests come and pray for these women. And whatever happens, it's
like the priest
that's the Lord's work.
Baptize my kids.
Okay.
Bless the house.
You tip them, you go, thanks, Father.
You know, Father, look, I just donated $100 to the fund. You know, it's in your name. Go.
Yeah, listen, go to Magdalene's. I told him to take care of you.
Have a nice Friday night. See you later, Father.
Baptize the kid. He gets a nice hand job from,
Whatever he does.
Cindy or whatever they'll name themselves.
Whatever's verified by the Pope.
So, with your lamb, drink Taurasi wine.
By the way, Taurasi, very good for lamb, man. You know, you should have fun discussions like this with your family.
That's
Instead
it.
of arguing and screaming and yelling at each other, have a little bit of wine, talk about something fun, make your mom and dad go crazy as you tell them about
Hookers and priests.
Priests should have hookers. They're going to lose their minds. But it'll be fun. It'll be a fun story.
It'll be a fun Easter.
And with that, we'll wrap it up. It's 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Open up the store now.
Is there anything that is specific?
I'll do a quick 1 minute thing on tariffs.
Quick on this thing.
Yeah, because tariffs still everyone's forefront, everyone's mind.
Yeah. He
Do with
pulled it
tariffs.
back, right? But it's like some sort of
90-day pause, but there's still 10% across the board. I know one guy in the industry told me that a container did land, and they did have to pay tariffs on it. I think the distributor had to pay those tariffs, so they definitely got an increase in price here stateside. When that reflects to us, I don't know. They could ask the state permission to let them change the pricing ahead of time. I don't know how it's going to happen. If it's 10%, maybe they eat it, maybe they don't. Maybe the guy who sent it to them in France eats half of it and they eat the other half here. No clue. But tariffs are a real thing. We are getting hit with them. What's the strategy for you, the customer at home? I can't tell you what to do. I can't advise you and say, hey, buy wine now. Although I wouldn't be inclined to tell you, maybe get some stuff that you were thinking about getting in the next 3 months. Pick it up now, at least ride out the storm for the next 90 days to figure out what the hell's going to happen. Hopefully, something happens. They make a deal. They come to an agreement and there's no increase. I think if it's a small increase, we'll probably eat it. Distributor will eat a little bit. I'll eat a little bit. Maybe importer will eat a little bit. And we won't increase the price to the customer.
All tariff related hikes will go towards Magdalene's and
yeah,
keep your children safe and your priest happy.
That's it. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you and your
Hopefully
family.
this drops right before Easter. I think Joey got it out.
Yeah,
Joey's,
I think
shout out Joey. He's sick. We love you, bud.
Feel better, man.
Feel better. I hope we did you proud. I hope this setup. I hope we made it as easy as possible for you.
I think it would be. We'll see. Maybe we'll go back to doing the old mics. We'll see what happens.
Listen, we still have pre-tariff prices. Come to the store, 2380 Arthur Avenue, Bronx, New York. Shop online, arthurcantina.com. And you get 5% off if you mention you watch the podcast.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. I'll put a podcast discount code in the POS. Thanks so much. Take care. God bless Jesus.
God bless Jesus.
Arthur Cantina, we're really glad you came. We won't forget your face next time, but might forget your name.